Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I am going to reveal a step-by-step study plan and question solving strategy that help me improve my accuracy and timing in the sentence correction section of the GMAT exam. This video is for anyone who is struggling to improve their performance in sentence correction. Whether you are a beginner who has just started preparation for GMAT or have attempted GMAT multiple times but failing to get your desired score due to bad performance in sentence correction, this video is for you. I decided to make this video because I received many queries on this topic from the viewers of my previous video. In that video, I talk about how to score 750 plus on GMAT in under 30 days and also share a complete list of study plan, section-wise tips and tricks and preparation resources. So if you have not watched that video, I encourage you to go and check it out. Being an Indian and a non-native English speaker, sentence correction was the most challenging part of GMAT for me. Why? Because unlike native English speakers, we can't rely on our ear to find the correct answer. In fact, it happens quite a lot that the correct answer will sound awkward to you. When I initially started, I was at 50% accuracy and was taking 3 to 5 minutes to solve a sentence correction question. In fact, more than 2/3 of my 30-day preparation time for GMAT went to sentence correction. During that time, I exhausted all the official guide questions available on GMAT Club forum quizzes and completed the Manhattan sentence correction guide twice as I was really bad at grammar. At the end, I was able to land at 75 to 80% accuracy and was taking under 1.5 minutes to solve a particular question. In this video, we are going to cover the study plan and the question solving process using an official question as an example. Let's start with the study plan. The study plan consists of 3 steps. The first step is to study and solidify your understanding of grammar. A typical GMAT sentence correction question tests 2 things, meaning and grammar. While meaning is easy to understand and almost all of us will have no difficulty, grammar is rule-based and has many exceptions. Hence, it is imperative that you study and memorize these rules. I use the Manhattan sentence correction guide for this purpose. You can use the same or any other GMAT preparation guide. Step 2 is to follow the question solving process and improve your accuracy without worrying about the time it takes for you to solve a question. I followed the process outlined in the Manhattan sentence correction guide, but with a bit of personalization. I tried 2-3 different processes from different institutes but found it to be the best one. I would highly recommend it for you. Let's discuss it in detail with the help of an example. Let's take the following question from the official GMAT Guide 2021. The first step of the question solving process is to take a quick glance at both the question and the answer choices. Your objective in this step is to classify the question into a type based on what the question is testing. Some of the most common and frequently tested types on GMAT are parallelism, comparisons, subject-verb agreement, pronoun antecedent agreement, modifiers, idioms, and verb tense consistency. How do you do it? Well, start where the underline starts. Look at how long is the underline. Long underlines usually indicate problem with sentence structure, meaning, placement of modifiers, and parallelism. If it's a short underline, you can directly read and compare the answer choices in full. Try to see what are the first and last few words of the underline. Now see the answer choices. Are you able to find a split? If yes, then try to classify the question into a type. Once you have practiced a lot of questions, most of the common splits and types will become familiar to you. If you practice well and thoroughly, you'll know exactly what to expect on GMAT sentence correction question. In this example, we see that underline is neither too short nor too long. We observe the split of more as versus as in the beginning of the underline. In the end, we observe a split of is far less than versus far lighter than versus far less than versus is far lighter than it is for versus is far less than it is for. Judging by these splits, this question falls in the category of comparisons. Moving on to step 2, read the original sentence and note the possible meaning or grammar issues. focus mainly on the meaning of the sentence, because more often than not, we tend to overlook it. To practice yourself on the meaning, look at some of the problems from the official guide, read the original sentence, then look away and try to articulate aloud in your own words what the sentence is trying to say. You can remove the unimportant and complicated words, which will make it easier for you to understand the meaning. In this example, the sentence says that officials believe that a particular coin has more chances of being used as a substitute for 4 quarters than for the dollar bill, because its weight, which is only 8.1 grams, is far less than the weight of the 4 quarters, each of which weigh 5.67 grams. Okay, now do we see any issues with the original sentence and its intended meaning? Well, yes. In the phrase, its weight is far less than 4 quarters, we are trying to compare weight of coin to 4 quarters, which is definitely wrong. Rather, we should compare weight of the coin to the weight of the 4 quarters. As soon as you find a problem with the original sentence, it's time to move to the next step. Don't waste time looking for more issues. If you are unable to find a problem with the sentence in the allocated time of this step, then also you should move to the next step. With that, we move to step 3, which is choose a split. Now it might happen that you will find some error in the original sentence like we did in step 2. In that case, you can skip this step and move directly to step 4. Or it might happen that you were unable to spot an error in the original sentence. Then you should compare the answer choices and try to find a split. Let's say that we were unable to find the error in meaning in the previous step. In that case, we could have taken the split offered at the beginning of the sentence, which for the original sentence says more for x rather than for y as a starting point. Step 4 is to eliminate the incorrect answer choices based on the split you choose. Start from the first answer choice and try to see whether the split offered in that answer choice is right or wrong, and gradually move down the answer choices. For comparison questions, remember, it's important to compare things that can be reasonably compared. Apples to apples, not apples to oranges. So let's say we choose the meaning error in the sentence as our split. Then option A is incorrect because it compares weight to 4 quarters. Option B is incorrect because coin weighs lighter than 4 quarters is wrong. It could be coin weighs less than 4 quarters or coin is lighter than 4 quarters. Option C looks correct because it says coin weighs less than 4 quarters, which is what we just said in option 2. Option D is incorrect and unnecessarily wordy. It says coin's weight is far lighter than coin's weight is for 4 quarters, which doesn't really make sense. For option E, it also looks incorrect because it says coin's weight is less than coin's weight is for 4 quarters. Or let's say we choose the split offered at the beginning of the sentence as our starting point. In that case, option A uses the phrase more for x rather than for y. It looks incorrect to use rather than here because rather than is used to indicate contrast and we want to indicate a comparison. Hence, option A is incorrect. In option B, it uses the phrase more for x than y. I see there's a missing for here, and this missing for leads to an ambiguity because the sentence could mean the dollar coin will be used more as a substitute for 4 quarters than the dollar bill will be used. This leads to comparison between dollar coin and dollar bill, or it could also mean the dollar coin will be used more as a substitute for 4 quarters than for the dollar bill. This leads to comparison between 4 quarters and the dollar bill. Hence, this sentence is incorrect. In option C, this looks correct because it uses the phrase for x more than for y. We have both the fors and the comparison looks correct as well. Option D is incorrect because again there's a missing for. It uses the phrase for x more than y. And option E is again incorrect because it uses rather than. which is used to indicate a contrast. For this question, both the starting points landed us at one right answer choice. But this is not always the case. In fact, for most of the questions, a split will eliminate 2 to 3 answer choices for you, and then to eliminate the remaining answer choices, you again have to find a new split and work your way down. Which lands us to our final step 5, which is repeat steps 3 to 4 until you eliminate all but one answer choice. This marks the end of our question solving process. Let's get back to our study plan. A quick recap. We have already discussed the first 2 steps of the study plan. Step 1 was to study and solidify your understanding of grammar, and step 2 was to follow the question solving process and improve your accuracy, which takes us to our step 3, which is improve your timing. A typical sentence correction question should take around 1 minute and 30 seconds to solve. In GMAT Club forum quizzes and most of the mock tests, apart from the overall test timer, you also have a timer for individual question. I improved my timing on sentence correction by time limiting each step of my question solving process. What does it mean? Well, for the first step, which is take a quick glance, I pushed myself to stop doing it as soon as the clock hit 10-second mark. For the second step, reading the question, I forced myself to stop reading the question when the clock hit 40-second mark. Then the remaining time I spent on steps 3 to 5, forcing myself to select an answer as soon as the clock hit 1 minute and 45-second mark. But I did not start doing this on day 1. There were 4 styles, or better to call them progression stages, in my journey of solving a sentence correction question. The first stage, I used to attempt a single question, keep it untimed, select an answer, look at the solution, and keep doing the same. In the second stage, I used to attempt a lot of 10 questions together, still untimed, answer all of them, and then look at the solutions together. In the third stage, I used to attempt a single question, but this time forcing myself to select an answer within 1 minute and 45-second mark. Then taking some more time to solve and review my selected answer. Finally, looking at the solution and repeating the same process. In the fourth and final stage, I started solving 10 questions in a go, all timed, and looking at solutions in the end. First 2 stages were focused at improving accuracy and last 2 at improving timing. My last piece of advice would be on spending twice the time you take to solve a question on evaluating what went wrong with it if you answered the question incorrectly. Read all the expert answers on GMAT Club. Try to find out how different people have approached the same problem and what was the best suited way for you to do it. Find out what kind of traps did GMAT use to trick you into selecting a wrong answer. Remember, analyzing what went wrong is as important, if not more, than studying. Although I've barely scratched the surface and there are still 100 more important things to say about sentence correction, I'm going to wrap up this video in the interest of time and wish you all the best for your sentence correction preparation. Do watch the How to Score 750 Plus on GMAT video if you have not already watched it. If you learned something valuable in this video, please hit the like button to make the YouTube algorithm happy, and for more such insightful videos, subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next video.